Hello and welcome to the daily number workout for the number 65 for fifth grade. So here we go, word form 65, SIXTY, 5FIVE, and because there's a 5 in the ones place value, it is an odd number. And let's get started with our factors. We have 1 times 65. 2 does not go in because it's odd. 3 does not go in. 4 does not go in because it's odd. 5 goes in. And let's try and work our 5. Get my scrap paper out here. So here's my scrap paper. 65 divided by 5. 5 goes into 6 one time because 1 times 5 is 5. We subtract 6 minus 5 is 1. Drop the 5 because 5 doesn't go into that 1. So we're done there. So we're going to drop the 5. 5 goes into 15 3 times because 3 times 5 is 15. We subtract that out and we're done. So it goes in 13 times. And just by looking at these numbers, 5 is prime, 13 is prime, we're done. All right. So it's just one way of looking at it. If we were to go through it, 6 doesn't go in because it's odd. 7 doesn't go in because 7 went into 63, and then the next one would be 70. 8 doesn't go in because it's odd. 9 doesn't go in because we add this up. 6 plus 5 is 11, and 1 plus 1 is 2, so 9 doesn't go in. 10 doesn't go in because it doesn't end in a 0, and 11 doesn't go in, and 12 doesn't go in. So we're good. Let's go on to our multiples. So our first multiple, of course, is 65. So let's get started with our multiplication. So 2 65s, 2 times 5 is 10, drop the 0, carry the 1. 2 times 6 is 12, plus 1 is 13. So we have 130. 65 times 3. 3 times 5 is 15. Drop the 5, carry the 1s. 3 times 6 is 18, plus 1 is 19. So we have 195. 65 times 4. 4 times 5 is 20. Drop the 0, carry the 2. 4 times 6 is 24, plus 2 is 26. So we have 260. 65 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. Drop the 5, carry the 2. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 2 is 32. 325. 65 times 6. 6 times 5 is 30. Drop the 0, carry the 3. 6 times 6 is 36, plus 3 is 39. So that would be 390. 65 times 7. 7 times 5 is 35. Drop the 5, carry the 3. 7 times 6 is 42, plus 3 is 45. 455. 65 times 8. 8 times 5 is 40. Drop the 0, carry the 4. 8 times 6 is 48, plus 4 is 52. So that would be 520. 65 times 9. 9 times 5 is 45. Drop the 5, carry the 4. 9 times 6 is 54, plus 4 is 58. So that would be 585. And 10 times any number is that number with the 0 in the ones place. So we've got our factors, we've got our multiples. Now we're moving on to our partial numbers, fractions, decimals, percents, ratios. So here we go. Hopefully you checked all yours off, made your corrections, and I'm going to cover that up to save paper. So here we go. Just putting that out there so you can see it. So of course our first one is our fraction, which is 65 daily number workouts out of 100. And we're looking up here. We know 65 does not go into 100 evenly. 13 will not go into 100 evenly. 5 does. So we're going to divide the numerator and the denominator by 5. And when we do, we know 5 went into 65 13 times. 5 goes into 120 times. So that is our lowest term fraction. And you will be using lowest term fractions when you get to your fraction unit. We go back to our hundredths here and we get our decimal, 65 hundredths. And that would be 65%. So if we walk into the store and they've got a sale going on, 65% off, that would be 65 cents off of every dollar. Our ratios would be 65 colon 100 or 65 to 100. Woo, almost didn't make it on my paper. All right, so let's write the words here. This would be 65 hundredths with a TH. And our decimal would be 0. And for our decimal, 65 hundredths. And when we're doing decimal, the last digit is where we stop. So this would be 0 and 65, and we know that's hundredths. If there was no 5, we're ending in the tenths place. That would be 0 and 6/10. So wherever we end, that's the word we're going to use for what that is. All right, let's bring that decimal down and make it into dollars. And that would read $0, whole dollars, and 65 cents. All right, moving right along. We go into our area. So let's go ahead and draw our first one, which is a 65 by 1. So our area equals 65 times 1, which equals 65 square units. Our perimeter would equal 65 plus 1 plus 65 plus 1, which equals, well, 2 65s according to our multiples is 130, and then 2 more would be 132 units. All right, so from now on, we're only going to do one of each. If you have more written down, that's great, but I'm just going to do the first one, so that way we can move along faster. Our next one would be a 13 by 5. So this would be 13 by 5. 13 by 5 equals 65 square units. And we're doing 13 plus 5 plus 13 plus 5 equals. So 13 plus 13 is 26. 5 plus 5 is 10. So that would be 13 plus 13 is 26. 5 plus 5 is 10. So it would be 36 units. All right. And we're done with area. Let's go on to volume. So let's spend a little more time with volume on this one. So we have 65 wide by 1 deep by 1 tall. So here's my drawing. So we're going to do volume equals 65 times 1 equals 65 cubic units. All right. And we know we can write this. I'm just going to draw it one way, but we're going to write all the ways we can manipulate this. So we could stand it on its head and say it is a 1 wide by 65 deep by 1 tall, which equals 65 cubic units. Or we could say it is 1 wide by 1 deep by 65 tall. And those are the 3 ways we can write that one. Then our last one would be a 13 by 5 by 1. So I'm going to try and draw that 13 by 5 by 1. So that would be 13 by 5 by 1 equals 65 cubic units. And so we're just going to take go with this one. So we're gonna do 13 again. And we're just gonna flip flop these other ones. And then we're gonna flip flop it again, putting the 5 first, and that would be 5 by 13 by 1. And then a 5 by 1 by 13. And a 1 by 5 by 13. And a 1 by 13 by 5. And there's all of our volumes. 65 is done.